Hello, I'm Tom Curran. I'm here at the National Dairy Conference to talk about collaborative farming initiatives in farming and the opportunities that they present for dairy farmers in their farming business in future. Collaborative farming initiatives consist of four key areas. Registered partnerships, which occur both in a family situation and a non-family situation. Contract rearing is where a dairy farmer sends his heifers out to be reared by another person on a contract basis, and those heifers can be replaced with productive dairy cows on the grazing platform. Share farming is the third area of collaborative farming. At present, share farming exists in a tillage situation successfully in Ireland. And what we're working on is we're developing a share farming model for dairy farming in Ireland, where young trained operators, such as people from small farming backgrounds or from non-farming backgrounds or from any other enterprise outside of dairying, can work their career path, into dairying, into a dairying career. So they can start off at quite a low level and develop their dairying career going forward. The final part that we have at the moment is cow leasing, and that's basically where a stock owner or a dairy farmer, if they have surplus cows, can lease those cows to, again, a new entrant or a young trained operator or share milker, or a farmer who just wants to expand by leasing cows rather than buying them. So I suppose the advantage there is that it's a potential new enterprise for the dairy farmer there's a potential new enterprise for a dairy farm to lease animals, and also from the young entrant or the new entrant's point of view, it's easier to get set up. There's less money involved in buying the herd outright from the start. So just going back quickly to partnerships, the non-family partnerships offer a huge opportunity to dairy farmers to gain access to land, labour and facilities that may exist on those people, so on those people's farms, so that the person they go into partnership with is a source of labour. The facilities they may have are facilities that don't have to be bought and paid for, and the land obviously means that animals and cows can be grazed on that land. What we would like to see in Teagasc is that partnerships become the norm and the recommended step in succession for family situations. So we have a lot of young sons and daughters going through agricultural education, and one of the issues we have is that it can be quite a period of time before those young trained farmers gain any level of control in the farm at home. So through the partnership process, they become a partner in the business, and they get the opportunity then to express their knowledge and the skills that they've learned in their agricultural education, and also to gain experience and gain confidence of working at home on the farm and running the farm as a business. Well, I think the key ones will be in the future share farming and partnerships. Partnerships will exist for existing dairy farmers, or existing farmers, I should say. So a dairy and a beef farmer or a sheep or tillage farmer can go into partnership together, or any combination of those enterprises, and that has only recently come about since 2012. Prior to that, we had milk production partnerships were confined to dairying. So also in the family situation, partnerships will be of relevance there. What we need to generate in the industry is an avenue for people who come from outside of that type of a situation, that maybe not have a farm behind them or want a career in dairy farming in Ireland, and that's where share farming comes in. So that's the distinction I would draw. The contract rearing will allow expansion on dairy farms where farmers need it. In that, as I say, the advantage of contract rearing is that the dairy farmer can send those animals out to be reared by somebody else. So it means that he may not have to rent land to rear those animals. He may not have to employ labour or put the labour input in himself to rear those animals. The advantage to the rearer then is that there's potentially more profit in contract rearing animals than there would be in a dry stock enterprise, and they have a regular and a steady income, cash flow income, in that most people are paid either on a quarterly or a monthly basis, which you don't have in a dry stock enterprise. The cow leasing then, as I say, is a facility that's there. We have already prepared a document for it, and we're awaiting clarification from the revenue on that document. And that, as I say, could facilitate an enterprise for dairy farmers and a way of reducing setup costs for somebody who's coming into the industry, maybe finding it hard to get security to take a loan out or to finance themselves. The big advantage for the dairy and beef farmer is that if they're neighbouring farms, that the milking platform around the milking parlour where cows can be grazed on and milked means that it facilitates expansion for the dairy farmer, access to more grazing land. For the beef farmer, it's an opportunity to get involved in the most profitable dairy enterprise in Ireland. Of all the enterprises that are there, dairying is far more profitable than the others. There's advantages to both. Then, as I say, the other advantage is that rather than have one labour unit on each farm working independently, you have two labour units coming together to run the system and run the farm. So that can be a huge help, because labour is a big issue for a lot of dairy farmers. So they're the key benefits really in that. And land access and land around the grazing platform is an issue in many parts of Ireland. In Ireland, about 7% of milk quota holders are farming through partnership at the moment. So we're quite a bit behind the likes of Norway, where 20 or 25% of dairy farmers farm in partnership. In France, then, they have agreements called GAECs, GAECs, and they represent about 15% of the land area or 50% of the milk production in France. And then obviously in New Zealand, then you have 34% of New Zealand farmers farming through a share farming system. So we have quite a way to go. At present, we have, I think there's 650 milk production partnerships. But while I say it has been opened up to all enterprises, the Department of Agriculture have taken on the role of the registration process. So it hasn't quite been, while the legislation and the agreement through the 2012 budget is there, it hasn't really been announced. And there hasn't been a huge uptake, but there has been a lot of interest, and we've had a lot of interest in Teagasc from neighbouring dairy and beef farmers thinking about getting into a productive and a profitable farm enterprise. Okay. The conclusion would be that that we want to see partnerships being used widely, that there is an opportunity there for all farmers, but specifically dairy farmers, to get involved in partnerships with non-dairy farming people. The contracting is already there. We'd like to see a greater uptake in that. I suppose a lot hinges on 2015, because again, with a share farming model, you need to be able to generate extra income from an existing land or an existing farm. So you need to be able to expand to do that. And likewise, the cow leasing will tie very much in probably with share farming. So in conclusion, we would like to see a big increase. We have to include metrics maybe in the application process for these, so that we will be able to measure them down the road to see what success we've had.